Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has once again stepped into the center of the gun rights debate, this time by vetoing Senate Bill 1058, a bill supporters say was designed to protect the privacy of lawful gun owners. Let's get into it. The legislation introduced by State Senator Wendy Rogers would have prohibited payment processors from using firearm-specific merchant category codes, or MCCs, for gun and ammunition purchases. Now, if you're wondering what's a merchant category code, think of it like a digital label attached to a business. A credit card companies use these codes, categorize where you spend money. Grocery stores have one, hotels have one, even gas stations have one. So the controversy begins when that same system is applied specifically to firearm retailers. Supporters of the bill argue that this isn't about catching criminals, it's about protecting Americans from what they see as growing financial surveillance tied to lawful gun ownership. And for many gun owners, there's a deeper concern here, and rightfully so, because once firearm purchases receive their own unique financial category, we believe it starts looking less and less like ordinary banking and more like the foundation for a backdoor gun registry. Not a traditional government list of serial numbers and gun owners, but a system capable of tracking who is buying from firearm retailers or how often they're shopping, how much they're spending, and when those purchases are happening. So think about that for just a second here. Even if a transaction doesn't tell you the exact firearm purchased, it can still generate a detailed trail of personal information. Did someone buy from a gun shop last week? Did they make multiple purchases in a short time frame? Are they spending money at firearm-related businesses regularly? Where are they making those purchases? Combine enough financial data points and you begin building behavioral profiles on law-abiding citizens. And that's why opponents of firearm-specific MCCs warn this could function as a form of indirect firearm tracking, a backdoor registry built not through legislation requiring gun registration, but through financial monitoring systems. And once that data exists, people naturally ask difficult questions. Who has the access to it? Banks, payment processors, third-party analysts, government agencies through subpoenas, data requests, partnerships, or could future administrations use that information differently? And that's a very likely concern. Could lawful gun owners be flagged, scrutinized, denied services, or subject to extra monitoring because of perfectly legal transactions? Critics argue these concerns are not far-fetched because we've already seen examples of financial institutions, payment companies, and online platforms being accused of restricting or distancing themselves from firearm-related businesses. Supporters of SB 1058 say that's exactly why financial privacy matters, because constitutional rights don't stop at the cash register. We don't create special financial tracking categories for people buying books or donating to political campaigns, which I'm probably sure they have that somewhere, or attending religious organizations. Activities protected by constitutional rights. So many gun rights advocates ask, why should firearm ownership be treated any differently? Governor Hobbs, however, rejected the bill. By vetoing Senate Bill 1058, critics say Arizona's governor sided with efforts that normalize financial monitoring connected to lawful firearm purchases. Supporters of firearm merchant codes argue the system could potentially help identify specific transaction patterns or connected to criminal activity or mass violence prevention efforts, which we all know is complete crap. But I would push back and claim, criminals rarely walk into licensed gun stores, use their personal credit card, and conveniently create a digital trail for investigators. It just doesn't happen that much unless they're absolutely stupid, which is, whatever. Instead, they argue people most affected are ordinary citizens, veterans, parents, sports shooters, hunters, collectors, and everyday Americans exercising a constitutional right. Is this simply a harmless banking classification? Probably not. Or is it the beginning of a financial tracking system that resembles a backdoor gun registry? One built not through public legislation, but through payment networks quietly collecting data on lawful gun owners. For many Second Amendment supporters, that question is becoming harder and harder to ignore. I would love to hear your comments down in the comment section below. What do you think of this? Do you believe that this is a way for them to somehow get a gun registry? If you're sick and tired of hearing all these politicians claiming that they care about you and we're going to pass this law and pass that law because we know what's safe for you, at the same time restricting your right to defend yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to follow along and hear more of these stories and see exactly what's going on in the United States concerning the Second Amendment, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow along. That is it for right now on the 2A Defense Network, and I will see you later.